Started. So if we could start with a quick Pledge of Allegiance, even though, well, I do have a flag. Hang on. Pledge allegiance to the
To
flag
the flag of the United States of America
and
and to the republic for which it
one
stands,
nation,
one
under
nation
God,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
justice for all.
So I'm not going to do a formal roll call because I can see who's on and just make a note of it. So I've been educated by Irene that this, because it's not at its regularly scheduled time of 6 o'clock, that the agenda that I put out, I have to stick to it, which is okay because I have like 15 on the agenda, and I'm sure I will leave no stone unturned here. So there's that. So the first order of business is to talk about Staff Sergeant Louis Dodo, MIA from 1944. His remains were identified November 3rd of last year. He's coming home to Norwalk. I'm kind of humbled to say that the family's asked me to go to Bradley tomorrow to meet the plane with the remains.
Wow.
They've asked me to video it for the family that can't be in town. He's got a nephew in Florida that can't get up here, so due to health reasons. So kind of honored to do that, and anything else they need. I've told them since I first found out about this that if there's anything the city can do. They've had an incredible amount of support from Magner Funeral Home and the United States Army as well. There'll be a full color guard there at the cemetery. So for those that haven't seen the email, the burial, there'll be no church service, which kind of surprised me because they're a Catholic family. But so it'll be at St. John's Section A1. So pretty much you come in straight, go about 180 around the fountain there, and the section's up there on the right, and you'll see a lot of people out there. So that's at noon on Friday. I got information today.
I have a question too.
Yes.
After you, somebody else had a question.
I was just going to ask how that came about. I didn't see anything in the news about it, but they just found his body. Is that what happened?
No, they had remains that weren't identified, and then the family donated DNA in case they ever found a match that they would have.
Yeah.
Use a DNA match. Yeah.
And he was buried in Manila Cemetery.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jeff, is it the Connecticut Guard Air National Guard who will do the honors? Do you know?
The honors where at the cemetery?
Yeah. No, at the when the remains arrive.
Oh, that
This
I don't
meeting.
know.
Yeah. Because James is with a guard.
Yeah.
That's where he is, and he's in Hartford right now. So he can, I don't know, maybe, do you have details you can share with me? Maybe I can get.
I have none. All I know is there's a Lincoln Town car picking up myself and 2 family members here in town at somebody's house, and that's all I have. I don't have, whether it's coming in on a commercial flight or military flight. No details, and I didn't ask. I've purposely tried to not be intrusive about any of this. It's
Okay, so we'd rather be that way. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Understand.
I mean, once I know more, once I'm in the car, I might be able to shoot you a quick text with more details. But yeah, I mean, if the 103rd is at Bradley, and
Yes, that's them. Yeah.
They should be out there in formation when this happens.
Okay, so I'll let him know that, because I know that, I don't know if it was some holiday that they did a flyover here just randomly because James is from Norwalk. So they do that if they know that they have a person in the unit who belong, so maybe I don't know, maybe they'll do something special.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he said, if we need a flyover, like whatever, let him know.
So I heard there was one on Memorial Day, but it was at the end of the parade.
And he did the pre-flight because he's the most junior.
How about that? It's good. You must be so proud.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we have connections if we need anything special. We have
Yeah.
the local guard. Air National Guard.
It's good to have a contact. Yes.
Yes.
Brian, did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you. I just hadn't heard anything about it. And now I see that you sent a separate email. So thank you, Jeff.
And there are links within that email to the press release from November, his obituary on the Magna Funeral Home's website, and a link to the Norwalk tribute page in his honor, and all the wartime service dead have been honored on that site. So, yeah, so the commissioner of the Connecticut Veterans Administration is coming as well, and has
Nice.
offered to present the family with Connecticut Wartime Service Medal and a
Nice.
posthumous certificate along with it.
Wow.
He's asked that I ask the family first before he commits to it, and I tried calling, there was no answer, so I sent the woman an email, and as soon as I hear back, then I'll let him know that that's going to happen. But this is big news. I mean,
It is.
Yeah.
I've heard this story happen over and over in cities all across America. I just never thought it would happen here, you know. And
It's so great they have that technology.
absolutely, and it's gotten better and better. I mean, we had this is the second time it's happened actually. There's Captain Joseph Brown was shot down in Laos in 1966, and his remains weren't identified until 1995. As a matter of fact,
Wow.
the plaque at the Shea McGrath Memorials, his name is missing from that because he hadn't been identified yet. And so we're making that right. I'll talk about that further down in the agenda. I want to stick to the plan here. Any other questions about that? Okay.
Is there something we should do in Norwalk? Or the
Well-
family would rather let it be quiet and private?
I don't think they can ask for that. I have a hunch there's going to be a couple hundred people at the cemetery.
Yeah.
I know the VFW and the American Legion are sending flowers to the cemetery. There's another organization in Connecticut called the POW MIA Forget Me Nots, and they're sending flowers. And I certainly hope Mayor Rilling's going to attend, Irene. I don't know.
I'll make sure. I'll make sure it's on his calendar.
Yeah, I copied him, blind copied him on an email that I blasted out to probably 50, 60 people, including his wife too, because you know she likes.
Okay,
to go.
I'll make sure.
Yeah. Okay. Next up on the agenda is the city resource directory for veterans. We have kicked this around for a couple of years now. I'm going to put the finishing touches on this and then send it out to the committee for edits. And then, Irene, is there a way through the city that we can mail this to the 1,800 veterans that we're aware of that are receiving a tax break? That's basically who it would be through. And
I'll ask the mayor.
fit in the budget for postage, but you know.
So you want to do a bulk mail of 1,800? Is that?
Yeah.
I'll ask. I'll
Okay.
ask if we can do that. I mean, I don't know if I know the tax collector does something like that, so I don't know if we can tag on. I'll find out. I'll write myself a note.
So Larry Cafaro, a year ago or so, did a Freedom of Information Act request from the tax assessor's office to identify everybody in town. And I've got that in spreadsheet form. How that works for the mailroom in City Hall, I don't know how that's going to work, but you can do a mail merge in Word that creates an envelope, but you know, I'm not the expert.
Oh, so you mean we have to put it together? Is that the
Okay.
question? Or just mail out?
Just mail out, yeah. And
Oh,
does
just
it have
mail
to be a
out.
certain size? Do I have to shrink it down to like a 5x8 or? So these are technical questions that kind of need answered.
I'll ask.
Thanks. Yeah, outreach to veterans and their families is the next agenda item. I'm constantly getting calls. People call the American Legion and need things, and Irene has sent me some names and people to contact as well. More so through the Legion than anywhere else. I guess they see that as the veterans organization in town, at least visible physical presence. And I got a neat one. This woman in Darien and her neighbor's turning 90 and served in the Navy, and they're having a big birthday party for him at Giovanni's Water's Edge in Darien, somewhere out there. It might even be Stanford, but anyway, she asked if we would present him a Navy flag at the party. And I said, yeah, I'm sure, absolutely.
Mhm.
And then he calls me back and says, and the family wants to donate $200 to the American Legion.
Aw.
Okay, I'll take it. And I'll get up, I'll
Nice.
get my nice suit on, and I'll go over there and
Cool.
the ship that he's assigned to, and got some details about the ship, and found his name on some muster rolls. If anybody knows what those are, basically at the beginning of every quarter or the end of every quarter, each ship has to run a list of all the personnel assigned to it, and any changes that were made, promotions, changes in rate from, this particular fellow went from a seaman first class to a fireman first class, and
Nice.
document that
You wanna you wanna give him some kind of proclamation from the state,
um
or not necessary?
probably not.
Okay.
Plus it's Saturday, this coming
Oh.
Saturday. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Never
if we'll let
mind.
off by then. But thanks for offering. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's good. And this kind of thing happens often. And if ever I can't pull something off, I'm certainly going to roll this committee in. We could do it in mass maybe sometime. That'd be great. So next up on the agenda is the veteran registry, which I kind of referred to already. We do have that spreadsheet. I do want to start using it. Start
Okay.
calling people. There are a lot of widows on there too. So I consider them veterans because they serve, sometimes alongside the veteran himself. But in other times maybe got married after the veteran left the service. But needless to say, they are worth reaching out to for sure. Next on the agenda is a partnership with Norwalk Chamber of Commerce. Brian, any updates on your end?
No updates, but we're ready and willing to. I know you and I had talked about a outreach campaign just to remind everyone that we're trying to put together a list of veteran-owned businesses and whatnot. I think that's something that's going to take multiple efforts, multiple sends and outreach. So. Yeah, whatever we can do to further that, we're ready to do it.
So I'm guessing that you don't have the staff to do that, that this would be maybe the whole committee splits the list of businesses and starts cold calling businesses to find out if they're
well, I mean,
veteran-owned?
I think if we had something to put in the newsletter, and quite frankly, we would be willing to do a dedicated email blast, because that goes to probably about 1,500 people on that list. So, and even if someone's not a veteran, they might know someone who is. So I think as a first step, I know we did something a while back, but maybe to do something more dedicated and concerted, that we would send that out, and we're trying to identify these businesses. And as long as we have them, quite frankly, I think it'd just be nice to frame it with a little bit about what this committee and what it does, because I'm finding that people don't know about it, and they really should, because you and Irene are doing a lot of good work here.
Well, thanks for that. And so I'm going to put my mind to some text about what we're trying to accomplish here, and that may help you when you send it out. The 1,500.
Yes, yeah. I mean, if you can provide some basic text, we can always, make it look pretty and, put in some nice images and all that stuff. So yeah, but if I had, whatever, a couple paragraphs to work with, and again, one about the committee, but also, the ask, and to make this as easy as possible. Like if we had a link where they could sign up or enter their business into this, database, or, I guess we can keep that. We could keep an Excel sheet or something, just to make it easy. So once they get the email, they open it up, they can submit directly from there.
Yeah, I think using Google Forms has worked. We use that to register the entities that were involved in the Memorial Day parade, and
Okay.
Form, and it automatically fills in a spreadsheet with their answers and that sort of data. I'm pretty adept at putting one of those together and I'll work on that this week.
Excellent.
Yep.
That's perfect.
Yeah, good.
Jeff and Brian, as a member of both organizations, I'd be happy to participate and volunteer to help be a primary point of contact for both the chamber and the organization.
That's perfect.
Thanks. Matt.
That's excellent, Matt. And that's a good thought. Maybe we could, I don't know if this would encourage people or not, but we have a number of board members. I'm just thinking of Matt and Bob King for two, that have served in the military. Maybe if we just gave some examples. I mean, obviously, Harry Rilling would be another one. It might, I don't know, spur people to like, oh yeah, I want my name on that list too, if that helps.
Yep. Good.
Yeah, Tad Diesel was in the Air Force, Brian.
There's another one. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like him already.
He's a nice guy. He's retired. He's a really nice guy.
Well, thanks for that, Brian. I'll definitely work on that this week. And Matt, I'll run it by you too. And for those that haven't heard, Matt Seebeck is the new commander of the VFW Post 603 in Norwalk, and also the district junior vice commander.
Wow.
Ceremonies and honors subcommittee. So they're responsible basically for 4 events that are run in the city, and that's cemetery visits, and the Veteran Memorial Ceremony happens on the same day, the 3rd Sunday in May. Then the parade and the Veterans Day event. And I'm the secretary of that organization, and they've been meeting pretty regular. They're on a pause right now over the summer because planning doesn't really need to start for Veterans Day until September. And some exciting news about something that they voted on is we are going to partner with the Norwalk Symphony from now on for the Veterans Day music and the Veterans Memorial Ceremony at Calf Pasture. They seem pretty excited about it too. They sent 5 musicians to the Veterans Memorial Ceremony in May, and they were outstanding. And I just wish there were more. For each person, there is a cost to that, and they subsidize a part of that cost. The rest was covered by the city, but a full orchestra, probably not, but a chamber orchestra of some sort, maybe 15 to 20 musicians would be fantastic. And so that's a nice development there. Had some flaws with the Veterans Memorial Ceremony with the parking situation. Some people got written tickets that shouldn't have. So one of the things that I'd like to see happen is maybe not start checking parking at Calf Pasture until that event is over. Maybe the next day, that Monday. It just causes too much of a nightmare for people to have to put in a code in a machine in order to not get a ticket if they come from out of town. And just seems a lot going on. So, Irene, if you could keep that in.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure we can make it arrangements. It just slipped our minds, but we can certainly take care of that next year. We put it on our notes. We can certainly do that.
Good, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the parade went well. I'm the chairman of the complaint department with certain things. And, the complaints were there were no marching bands, but that, if only they knew that decision was made by the mayor, because you have unvaccinated kids
it's all COVID
through their instrument all over Norwalk. That's not a good thing. And
well, what I can say, Jeff, and I know we spoke about this before, but complaints. Well, hey, welcome to Norwalk.
That's right, Fred.
If nobody complained, then I might be worried.
You're actually doing good work.
Exactly.
I think the Chamber of Commerce is the only ones who don't get complaints, right, Brian?
Oh, we need to talk, Irene.
Brian, I got to say that I've known you for 18 years. I have not heard a single complaint about you.
I'm not talking about me.
Also, Sono Collection never gets complaints, right, Matt?
I can only imagine the mall. Geez.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Good.
So
at least at least you guys. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Brian.
No, at least you had the Memorial Day parade, right? So I think
Yes.
people should be thankful for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
Agree.
that was the only complaint I heard was about the marching bands, but you know, once you explain that to people, I think they kind of understood. But
Yeah.
I think they should be grateful for the fact that, you know, the city pulled it off and decided to do it. So,
Yeah.
Thanks to Jeff, right?
Yeah.
Jeff's hard work.
It's just,
Right.
you know, 3 weeks notice is not a lot of time to do these things.
Mhm.
So next year, it's going to be bigger and better. just
Yep.
Like it used to be. And,
Mhm.
you know, thankfully the weather held out. Another piece of feedback is nobody was in the reviewing stand at City Hall. So the committee has decided to find a way to move the reviewing stand, the showmobile, down to the green where the parade ends.
Mm.
That
Ah,
makes more
I
sense.
like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
good idea.
Um, They also voted to change their name back from Ceremonies and Honors to Norwalk Veteran Memorial Committee. I was the only nay vote in the group, and apparently when the name was changed, ruffled some feathers.
oh,
People were concerned that we were losing the history of all that committee did for the last 30 or 40 years, and that's not the case. Personally, I think Ceremonies and Honors fits more what they're about. But what can you do? So they're back to NVMC, and that's about it with them. Veterans Day, always looking for a guest speaker and singers for the national anthem. So keep that in mind, Irene, in your travels.
okay.
I have one. He graduated Norwalk High, class of '79. He did
Oh,
4 years in the Air Force, got out and worked on the civil service side, and is now at the Pentagon. And as I
oh,
understand,
wow.
his position is the equivalent of a 2-star general.
Oh, wow.
Civilian side. He's responsible for all Air Force bases
Wow.
in the world. Yeah. Robert
We have to
Moriarty
meet
is
this
his name.
person.
His sister is married to George Rivellino from Knights of Columbus. You know
Oh,
him?
wow.
So good connection. I did connect with him on email. I wanted him to come up and do the Veterans Memorial Ceremony, but he said it was too soon after the change in administration. He couldn't
Wow.
really leave at that point. So maybe Veterans Day.
Yeah.
With that is it's in the middle of the week this year, and I don't know if he'll be able to get away for that, but you know, it gives him a dual purpose to come up, you know, to visit family and
Yeah.
yeah, it's on a Thursday this year. I just looked it up.
Wow. That's exciting.
Yeah. Purple Heart Monument. Talk about the progress with that.
Oh, yeah.
More red tape, and just boggles my mind how much you have to go through to get anything done sometimes.
Yeah.
But the upside is a monument to Norwalk's combat wounded is in the process. The Arts Commission has approved it. The Recreation and Parks Committee needs to approve the place that we're going to put it in Vets Park. Then that goes to a commission, and then it goes to Common Council to get approved. The only catch there, I haven't really spoken to the mayor about it. I did give him a heads up, but the price tag is $26,500, and that's for the concrete pad and the monument itself. Pretty expensive, but you know, I think it's something that we should try to do. I mean, if we need to raise half the money privately, we could set up, you know, sell bricks for a walkway down there, or just set up a GoFundMe page, which would break my heart a little bit that we'd have to go the GoFundMe route when the city should embrace this idea. But we're not there yet. Until I'm told to go away and raise money, then you know, I'm going to count on the city to write a check for that. But we'll see how that goes. And I will put I think I put it in the design as an attachment to the minutes in the past, but I'm gonna, if I haven't, I'll do it again with this particular meeting. Moving on, made mention of the fact that there's an addendum plaque that's needed at the underneath the Vietnam plaque at the Shane McGrath Memorial. Two names missing, Major Thorne and Captain Brown, who I talked about recently. Both of them were MIA when that plaque was made, so I can see why their names weren't on there. And it wasn't an oversight by anybody. It's just that's the way it was at that point. But the plaque is about 2 to 3 weeks away from coming to Norwalk. Captain Brown does have family in the area, and I'd like to do an unveiling of some sort down there and have that covered by the press and that sort of thing. Details forthcoming. The same company that made the addendum plaque also fixed one of the plaques at City Hall. So as you're walking towards the front door, there's that alcove with the giant plaques. The one all the way to the right, the top 2/3 of it, the letters were worn out. And basically that looks brand new again. I'll send a before and after picture in the minutes on that as well. And thanks to them. The sculpture at Veterans Park, you know what I'm talking about. It's right along Seaview Avenue. So 3 or 4 people and the person at the top's holding an American flag. It's a bronze sculpture. It was dedicated to the city. I found a record on the Smithsonian Institute website about a little bit about the sculptor and the sculpture itself. And it was dedicated to the city in May of 1966. I'm not sure it's ever been cleaned. The bronze has kind of leaked into the concrete underneath it, and it's kind of unsightly. So I approached the Arts Commission on whether they wanted to head up a refurbishment of that sculpture, and they passed the buck over to Rec and Parks because it's in Veterans Park, so they own it. So that's a second item, agenda item for the Rec and Parks Committee that I'm putting forward from this committee that I'd like to see taken care of. And the Smithsonian, the fellow that answered to me from the Smithsonian had a pretty extensive paragraph on finding a conservator to be out in front of this that is familiar with cleaning and finishing bronze and cement and that sort of thing, concrete. So I passed all that to Ken Hughes, who does some magic around the city and for that department. And he's done a lot for our committee as well. So more updates on that as that becomes available. Another thing that the veteran organizations did in town was to split the cost of permanent grave markers at Riverside. So the goal is to have a flag in front of every headstone or footstone for the 38 Norwalk residents who died during wartime service that are buried there. So the total cost of that came to about $660. That was split between the VFW, American Legion, and the Marine Corps League. And I got those markers in and gave them to Riverside on Saturday. And you know, I gave them my pitch about we were concerned about theft, you know, because it's a nice, it's an alloy. It's not worth. I mean, they're like $19 a piece, something like that. Off the top of my head, I think that's what they were. But still, we don't want anybody taking one and moving it to another grave, you know, that sort of thing. So I'm looking for them to be planted in concrete of some sort. And I know the owner. That's who I met up there, and he's going to look into it. And the grounds crew is going to do all the placement. I just have to get the list of the name and the section and plot number for each of the 38, and I will do that. So that's nice, so that these people can have a flag at their grave year round. You know, landscapers at some point, I think it's after July 4th weekend, they pull all the flags out. Matter of fact, the flags are already out in the state veteran cemetery. They only allow it for a couple of weeks, and then the same people that plant them come back and pull them out. And thankfully, Riverside has agreed to this, and that way the groundskeepers come by with a weed whacker. They don't knock the flag over. There's nothing that I hate seeing flags on the ground in cemeteries, you know. So so that's getting done, and then we're going to go cemetery to cemetery. And the Knights of Columbus, I think, have offered to do St. John's next year, and so I'm going to work with them on the process and that sort of thing. And you know, if you do one a year, by the time we're done, everybody that died during wartime service that's on those plaques down at the beach or on the base of the cannon, those that died during wartime service will have a permanent flag holder. So that's the goal. Last agenda item is future meetings. I'd like to go back to monthly. Anybody have some thoughts on that? All right, is anybody opposed to going back to monthly meetings?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh.
Let me look at my calendar real quick and see what might work for everybody. So this being the second Monday,
Why don't you go in the mayor's office because I'm in a meeting? So go in the mayor's office, do the office all the way in the back. Okay, thank you. Sorry, window cleaners are here.
so the second Monday of the month, does that work for everybody? Any objections?
Should be fine.
Yeah, that way we won't conflict with holidays and that sort of thing. So the next one will be July 12th. Let me look at my calendar to make sure I don't have a conflict. I do not have a conflict.
July 12.
What about other committees in Norwalk, Irene?
What are you looking for? Zoom for to schedule a meeting?
Well, yeah, I mean, what is the city's approach on in-person meetings these days? I mean, I
We're
heard
waiting for guidance from the state. The word is there's going to be an update at the end of the month.
Mhm.
So until then, we're not scheduling outside any groups, no commissions, no board, like everybody meets by Zoom.
Mm.
So we'll know more by the end. That's what we've been told. So
Okay.
we're just waiting for guidance from the state.
Okay. So we'll stand by to stand by and then, yeah.
Make a
second
decision.
Monday.
Yeah.
All right. So per the rules, we have to end this discussion. That's the end of the agenda. And so looking forward to seeing you all again on July 12th at 6. By what format, I will let you know, and then I'll get these minutes out this week sometime. So thanks all of you for being here, and let's see. Did I get everybody? I saw Orlando was on for a while there. Let me see.
I'm still here.
There he
All right,
is.
Good to see
I'm
you.
still here.
All
Happy
right.
U.S. Army birthday today.
Yes.
That's right.
Happy birthday to you, Matt Seebeck, who's on the call. He was Army also. And
How many years?
Rowe, he's Army Guard.
246.
Whoa.
Yeah. It was Army Air Force, right? Or Air Corps something. Jeff
Yes,
would
the
know.
Air Corps.
Yeah. Air Corps. Yeah.
Air Force, yeah. It was Air Corps for a while, but Army Air Force during World War.
Correct. Yes.
Common
Yes.
misconception.
Yeah.
It's not, it wasn't the Air Corps during the war, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah. Correct.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
Thanks for keeping me in line, Irene. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All
And
right.
and we can talk offline. I have an update about the veteran service, but again, we can't discuss because we have to stick to the agenda.
Yep. Okay. Sounds good.
Good
right.
night, everyone.
Take care, everybody.
Take
Have
care.
a good night.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
If you want to call
Bye-bye.
me, Jeff, I'll talk to you. Okay, bye.